Hi there, Lee Farnell here. Let's talk sales kickoffs. You know, sales kickoffs can be fantastic or they can be shockingly boring and ineffective. But if you want your next sales kickoff to be your best ever, then you're not alone. According to the Association of Talent Development State of Sales report, companies spend between $1,000 and $1,500 every year per salesperson on firstly training and then another $1,000 or $1,500 on the sales kickoff. So if you look at the numbers from the US, then we know that there are somewhere between, depending on how you define a salesperson, between 5.7 million people involved in direct sales and as many as 14.5 million involved in direct sales, particularly when you involve customer service and retail sales. So there's around $8.5 billion to $21 billion spent on sales training, and then another $8.5 and $21 billion spent on sales kickoffs. If you look at Australia, where it says from the Census report there's 986,437 people involved in direct sales, that's around $1.478 billion, $1.478 billion spent on sales training, and then another $1.478 billion spent on sales kickoffs. So it made me think, man, we should be doing something about this. Stop being so cruel and stuffing up and boring people stupid with your sales kickoffs. So if you're serious about energizing your team and driving sales results, it really is about using world's lead sales training, sales kickoff specialist. In fact, we've got one on our team, Professor Mark Morehouse, and we work with specialist event organisers. We've got a team of event organisers we work with to make these sales kickoffs so memorable and so profitable, and sometimes, in fact, cost the company little or no money. We've got some fantastic ways to do that. But whether it be a global tech firm to a fast-growing startup, Morehouse has transformed sleepy sales teams into record-breaking launch pads. You get energy, strategy, and results. So make the most of your next kickoff and make it the most profitable event of the year. DM us to secure a spot with Morehouse. Morehouse only can do 3 or 4 of these a year, so make the most of it, and we'll work with you and your event organisers, with our event organisers, to make this incredibly successful for you. Now let's go into some of the other factors here. Here are 5 ways to make sure your sales kickoff really does pay huge, fantastic, mind-blowing dividends. As we've already said, over $1.5 billion a year is spent on sales kickoffs and launch events in Australia alone. That's at least 1,000 companies spending $1 million or more. So you've got to make the most of it, because your annual sales kickoff is more than just a high-energy get-together or high-energy piss-up in a lot of cases. It's a strategic opportunity to align, to motivate, to empower, and launch your team towards breakout performance. But you know, you've been to them yourself, but too often kickoffs generate short-term excitement with little long-term impact. So here are 5 proven ways to make sure your next sales kickoff really does deliver lasting value. 1, start with strategy, not just hype. As we say, while the music and the lights and the food and the grog and the swag get attention, what your team really needs is clarity. Tie your kickoff directly to your company's strategic goals and sales priorities for the year ahead. And again, we help you directly with that with a whole range of tools, templates, executive meetings, whiteboard meetings to get that right. Pro tip: anchor the event around a central theme that reflects your growth plan, whether it's market expansion, customer retention, margin improvement, product launch. Again, we can work with you on that. So that's 1, start with strategy, not just hype. 2, make it all about them, not just the leaders. In other words, make it about the performers. Nothing kills engagement like endless executive monologues. So instead, create a space for frontline voices. And again, we have ways to do that. We have some very theatrical ways to do that, to make it memorable, to make it an emotional but valuable and empowering experience. Involve top performing reps. We can use our special extracting best practice and our modeling techniques bring in customer testimonials, and design interactive sessions. Again, we can do that using our Howard Gardner multiple intelligences model. Interactive sessions tailored to their daily challenges, so they get real, daily, real-time tips, value, experiences, and strategies. Pro tip, let your people hear from their peers who've walked the talk and succeeded. So it's not just executive heads at the front of the room. So 2, make it about them, not just the leaders. 3, launch a cadence. What? Launch a cadence, not just an event. The biggest mistake is treating the kickoff as a 1-day or a 2-day or a one-off spectacle with no follow-up. It really is about the R factor, frequency times quality of contact. R equals F times Q. So where's the follow-up? The best kickoffs serve as the first chapter in a longer journey of training, coaching, and execution. And again, we can show you how to implement that and use our CZ6 coaching system and coaching academy to include the 5 A's, which includes accountability, adult applied learning with accountability. Pro tip, introduce ongoing initiatives like monthly team challenges, quarterly challenges, follow-up workshops, and manager-led reinforcement huddles. And again, we can show you how to do all of that to keep the momentum alive. 4, activate managers as force multipliers. What? Activate managers as force multipliers. Sales managers are the make or break link between the kickoff inspiration and the daily action. So don't just invite them to sit there, equip and empower and give the sales managers the tools and the framework and the skeleton to lead the follow-up. And again, we can show you how to do that. Pro tip, give the managers playbooks, discussion guides, coaching frameworks, MP3s, videos, online courses, so that they can continue to embed the kickoff content into their daily and weekly routines. And again, we can show you how to do that. Activate the managers as force multipliers. 5, measure what matters, then celebrate it. Measure what matters, then celebrate it. 1, without clear metrics, the kickoff outcomes become impossible to track. So get those clear metrics so that we can track the outcomes. Define what success looks like, what the activity levels are, frequency times quality contact is, what the new pipeline should look like, what the conversion rate should look like, and then make the progress visible across the organization. And again, we can show you how to do it. Boy, these are some fantastic tips to use here, guys. Pro tip, build in public recognition and rewards for teams who execute. Reward the behavior you want repeated. Publicly reward the behavior you want repeated. So we're talking about visual display of results. So there's actually a scoreboard that measures the KPIs that is spoken about in the kickoff, and then what the ongoing daily, weekly sales management reinforcement will be. Reward the behavior you want repeated, and let everyone see the impact of what we started at the kickoff. Now, we've done this with insurance companies, we've done it with IT companies, we've done it with other technology companies, we've done it with professional services companies. A fantastic theatrical kickoff that then links in with a systematic follow-up program. That's where you get the real return on investment. Final thought, when it's done right, a sales kickoff doesn't just pump them up and then leave them flat. It sets the tone, the tools, and the tempo for the entire year. So make it strategic, make it stick, and make sure it pays big dividends. Now, DM me for a free download guide on how to get the most of your next sales kickoff, what the framework can look like, and we can help you do that. A free, no obligation discussion. Again, we can only do a limited number of these each year, so do take action. Sales kickoff, we are the sales kickoff specialists. Look forward to hearing from you. Hey, have a listen to this announcement. Are you spending up to $2,000, $3,000 or more per sales rep on sales kickoffs? Then make it count. Bring in the world's leading sales kickoff specialist, Professor Mark Morehouse, and his event management team. Morehouse will turn your next event into a high-energy, high-profit launch pad for your team. Strategy, motivation, results. DM now to book your most profitable sales kickoff ever before his calendar sells out. Don't just kick off the year, launch it.